Hello, it's Concord Wind. I'm really high on caffeine and I want to produce some more content. So I'm making this video. Lately, we've been talking about and reading about Job. And Job's fear of God and shunning of evil was manifested in his submission to God's arrangements. Like God gave me my family for a reason, and God created me for a reason, and God has arranged everything in my life for a reason, and it goes for everybody else. Everybody has purpose. And I believe right now, unfortunately, the purpose of my sister is serving as a foil. She shows me the contrast between one who submits to God's arrangements and one who doesn't. Like, for example, my sister, she has two vehicles, she has a job that pays really good money, and she's got a family that loves her. She's got a boyfriend that she's on and off with that loves her. She's got four animals. She's able to see my daughter, who I'm not able to see. So she's got her niece. Um, and she's got a nice apartment. It's not as nice as mine, but it's still pretty nice. And she loves her job. And she is very resistant to God. She does not submit to God's arrangements. She wants more and more. She wants, you know, like before, for example, she wanted to get married. She wanted a boyfriend really bad. And then she got one. She's still not happy. She wants a house. And when she gets a house, she still won't be happy. She wants a Camaro. She gets a Camaro, she still won't be happy. She wants to get married. If she gets married, she still won't be happy. She just wants and wants and wants and wants. And, you know, every little inconvenience makes her angry. If there's traffic, she's angry. If an employee at a restaurant is rude to her, she's angry. Um, she gets angry over every little thing. She cannot accept what God arranges for her in her life. She's she's in opposition to God, and she cannot accept God's arrangements. And in contrast, I don't have a job that I love. I don't have a job other than doing my duty, which I love doing my duty, which is uploading these videos. And that's only been happening recently. Over the years, I haven't been doing this. But, this doesn't take much time in my day, right? So most of the time, like, I don't have anything to do. And I'm on disability, which is embarrassing, like to be on disability, to be leeching off the government, right? That's leeching off of taxpayers. It's embarrassing. It's humbling. And I don't have any pets. I can't see my daughter. I've got a family that loves me, just like my sister, but I don't have any vehicles. Um, I don't make much money. Um, I don't want a house. I love my apartment. And even when I was living in a camper, I was satisfied with the camper. I didn't need, you know, I only moved into this apartment um, because the camper was literally falling apart. Um, but if I had to stay in that camper, even with it falling apart, I still would have been satisfied. And I don't have a girlfriend. Um, I'm probably never going to get married. You know, I'm happy though. Like my sister's so unhappy and she has so much more than me and she wants so much and all I want is to satisfy God. I just want to submit to his arrangements and be like, Job, that's all I want out of life. I just want to make God happy. I just want to put a smile on his face. I just want to make him proud of me and satisfied with me. And I just want to comfort him. And I want to be his shoulder to cry on. I want to be the reason why he laughs. And I want him to be able to confide in me. I want him to be able to trust me. And I want to bear testimony for him. And I'm very happy, and my sister is very unhappy. And so I see this contrast. You know, submission to God is what brings happiness. Like a lot, I know, you guys probably believe we are saved by confession of the mouth that Jesus Christ died on the cross for our sins and believing in our hearts that Jesus died on the cross for our sins, having that faith is what saves us and makes us qualified to enter the kingdom of heaven. But is that what brings happiness? Because I've believed in Jesus since I was a child, and I've been miserable most of my life. And I was also very resistant to God and in opposition to God. I didn't submit to his arrangements, and I wanted so much out of life. I wanted to get married. I wanted um, a nice car. I wanted a nice house. I wanted children and pets and money and a nice job. And I wanted to be famous. And there was so much I wanted out of life. And I was so unhappy. I couldn't accept what God gave me. I couldn't accept what God took away from me. And I was very unhappy. I struggled against fate, just like my sister. But now I submit to God's arrangements. I accept what he takes away from me. I accept what he gives to me. I accept when there's traffic. I just think there could be a reason for this traffic. God could be testing my patience. He could be saving me from getting into an accident. I just accept all of God's arrangements, no matter what it is. Like, I have overactive bladder. I have an intolerance to caffeine, like where whenever I drink caffeine, I start throwing up. I mean, I still drink it because I love the way it makes me feel and it keeps me productive. But I just deal with the throwing up, and I have I at night, I itch all over my body. I can't. My daughter's mother won't let me see her, so I have to deal with the pain of not being able to see my daughter. You know, uh, I don't have a vehicle, and I can't get a vehicle. I don't make enough money to be able to afford the oil changes and the gas and the insurance, and I can't afford all that. So I just have to rely on other people, which is embarrassing. So I mean, I do pay gas money, which I need to pay my sister some gas money because I've been paying my parents and I haven't been paying her, and she's actually been driving me around more frequently than my parents. Um, I have schizophrenia and bipolar, which I'm on medicine for now, thank God. And I mean, looking like from the outside looking in, right? My life is not something people would envy. It's not something people would want. And as a matter of fact, you know, I don't have much confidence with women. I've completely given up on getting married because, um, number one, I just want to submit to God's arrangements. And if He arranges a woman for me to marry, then that's great. And if He doesn't, that's great too. I don't care. I just want to submit to God's arrangements. And number two, I'm overweight because of the medication I'm on for my schizophrenia and bipolar. And I also don't make much money and I don't have a vehicle. And I don't have anything that would be appealing to a woman, unless she's like really desperate or overweight or ugly or something. I mean, there's not, I don't have anything that would be appealing to a normal woman that doesn't have a lot of baggage or flaws or whatever. Like a normal woman is attractive to most men, and a normal woman can get pretty much any man she wants. Even if like men don't outwardly show interest in a woman, like if they're intimidated or whatever, but deep down, if a woman made a move on a man, she'd be able to get him. Like women don't have to put much effort in. I mean, a man would be so excited for a woman to talk to him because women don't usually make moves on men. They wait for men to make moves. And some women get really insecure because men never make a move on them because they lack the confidence or they're intimidated. Like I never make moves on women. I see women. There's this woman at the gas station that I had a crush on for the longest time. The gas station down the road from me, and I never made a move on her because I lacked the confidence, and also I didn't know if she was a Christian or not. And it's like, it's kind of awkward to make a move on somebody, find out they're not a Christian, back out, and then have to see them next time you go to the gas station or whatever. It's like, it's just too much of a hassle, too awkward. But the point is that I just accept God's arrangements, and even though I'm not appealing to women or anybody, like I'm not like my situation isn't desirable. I'm able to accept my situation and be happy. And that's completely different from most people because my sister is not the only one. There's Most people struggle against fate and do not accept their circumstances, and they fight like hell to change their fate and get out of their circumstances. And as a matter of fact, um, in Japan, you know, it's a part of the culture to fight against fate. It's in a lot of anime. I see it all the time. Changing one's fate, and they act like it's like the way they um, display this idea of fighting against fate. They display it as if it's possible to change fate, and it's not. I mean, we don't have much free will. Like our fate is preordained. Like how much suffering you endure in your life is preordained. You can't change it. How many blessings you receive in this life is preordained. You can't change it. Just like there's people who are interested, like my cousin. My cousin is interested in accounting, and that interest was given to him by God, and the blessings he receives from being interested in accounting was preordained, and it's all determined by God. He has nothing to brag about. God gave him that for whatever reason. It doesn't mean that he's achieved salvation or that he's walking the path of fearing God and shunning evil. It just means that he's received this blessing, which is preordained. And like, I don't have an interest in accounting. And, no matter how try, no matter how hard I've tried to work, join the workforce, I've never been able to keep a job. I've never been super interested in work. So that's preordained by God as well. That, like, I'm thwarted at every turn. Every move I make in the workforce, there's always obstacles in the way that are insurmountable. And as a result, I'm on disability, and thank God I've got my diagnosis to back me up on my disability, because if I didn't have that diagnosis, I wouldn't have been able to have got it. And I'd need my parents to take care of me, I guess, because I can't keep a job. And so I make very little money. Like, the money I make is very insignificant, but it's enough for me to take care of myself, and that's all I need. And I even have extra money. Like, I'm able to get, like I got solo leveling. I talked about that in another, or not solo leveling, ReZero. I got ReZero on DVD, all 3 seasons and the 2 OVAs. Um, and I was able to get a PlayStation 4. I mean, like, I have money to get some stuff for myself, so I'm blessed. I mean, I don't have as much money as my sister, or, the average person, but I mean, I've got plenty, and I mean, I don't even need the extra money. If I wasn't able to get this PlayStation, I'd be fine. The PlayStation isn't what brings me happiness. It's just an extra bonus blessing from God that I cherish as a blessing from God, and I appreciate, but I don't need it. I don't, like, a lot of what I have, I don't need, and I could let go of. And I've told God, you can take away anything you've given me. You can test my faith. And, it's like, I've been through so many trials, and I've been so close to death so many times. And even though a lot of my trials I didn't pass, like, in my eyes, I didn't pass, but maybe to God I passed because my trials have stopped. That doesn't mean they're over forever, but they're over for now. And, hardships have taught me to obey God. Suffering has taught me to love God. The more you suffer, the more hardships you deal with. If your heart is given to God, you'll love Him more, because you'll be able to see your corruption and change, and you'll be able to fear God. You'll be able to submit to His arrangements. You'll trauma bond with God. When and you'll be happy and satisfied with yourself that you were able to submit to God's arrangements, bear testimony, stand firm in your faith, and not complain against God or turn to Satan when you were undergoing trials and suffering. And you'll be, a little proud of yourself. I mean, I know pride can be sinful, but if you're proud of the fact that God has used you, then that's not a sin. Pride is a sin when it's arrogance. Um, but pride in being used by God is not a sin. So if you want to be happy, submit to God's arrangements, accept your fate. Don't struggle against your fate. just accept what God has given you, accept what God takes away from you, and stand firm. So that's my advice. And that's about all I have to share for this video. And yeah, that's it. So thank God. All right. Bye-bye.